That was a really good one. Was that a fake one?
Yeah, I can burp on command well. Hold on, let me do another one.
That was incredible. Amazing.
It's
You're so talented.
the best thing about me.
All right.
Such ladies.
Ladies.
And that, my friends, is Talking Shit with a Yank and a Brit. We're here live, but when you listen to it, it won't be, because that's not how podcasts work. Hi, I'm Kate. I'm the Yank.
And I am Gemma, the British one. Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I know we had our little pre-record catch up and maybe a little bit of event session for a little behind the scenes for the listeners at home. We spend, I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes before we start recording, just like probably doing the actual shit talking.
Yeah. Maybe we should just record that as well.
Yeah, we could. Let us know if you want to hear about that. But, we just like talk about our weeks and talk about what's bothering us today. And then we try to put on a different attitude to do this recording for you all to sound like positive, uplifting people where we don't slag off men all the time.
Yeah.
But we're doing well.
We're doing good, yeah. Today was a chat slagging off numerous people, so of various genders.
Yep. Equal opportunity as well. It's not just men, it can be women too.
Yeah, exactly. We live to serve, so.
Yeah. So, anything good this week? Even if it's just I had a really good piece of toast?
Yeah, I don't. Did I say this on the podcast? I don't know. I'm doing keto at the moment.
I don't know if you said that, but you told me last time. I just don't know if we're recording.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm doing keto. Just give it a go, and also because I'm going on holiday in May, and I want to be able to get in a bikini without hating myself. So doing that. It's been all right actually. Last couple of days, I'm feeling good, so that means I'm now in ketosis and I'm burning fat, baby. So that is great. But what I also did was I ordered online some keto-friendly bread, which is like no carb bread because I do really like bread.
Me too.
Also some keto pizza bases because again, I really like pizza.
Bread and pizza, sure.
And it tastes really good. And last night I made a pizza using the bases and it was fucking brilliant.
Nice. Do you want to drop a little plug for the brand or anything?
Yeah, so it's called Seriously Low. But it's spelt funny. How's it spelt? Let me tell you how it's spelt.
LOUGH. Like dough, but low.
No, it was seriously. So it's SRSLY.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, little UK-based company that do keto-friendly foods.
So basically, I don't know if you can get in the US, but, maybe give it a go.
Exactly. See if you can order it. It's from Hemel Hempstead, I believe.
So. Hey, Lauren, if you're listening, send Gemma some keto recipes from ones that you thought were really good when you did it.
I've actually found it really easy because I am using a recipe book. And everything I've tried so far has been bloody delicious.
Did you actually buy like a recipe book or did you just find one online?
I bought it because my dad and his girlfriend are also doing this diet.
Oh, cool.
For their own reasons, and mentioned it and were like, this recipe book's amazing, all the food tastes great. And I was like, oh, I'll give that a go. So I bought the book, given it a go, and it's great. Like, I've cooked everything from fresh and even my lunches.
Do you think you've lost weight?
I have lost over a kilo already, but that's mainly water weight because that happens when you're eating carbs.
Still counts.
But still, I'm like, whoa, look at that scale.
I've never done keto, but I did Whole30 a couple of years ago, and it wasn't necessarily for maybe it was, but just to see if I could. And actually, a lot of the stuff that I ended up making, I kept in my rotation because it was really good. It was hard because, like, you barely can eat anything. And I think I ended up losing like 10 pounds, but then literally I did it for January. So it was kind of like New Year, pull 30, do it for the month of January. Like February 1, just start eating what I wanted again. 10 pounds probably that same day came back.
That's it. I imagine as soon as I eat carbs again, then it's just all going to come back. But fuck it.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's just for vacation. Who cares?
But I mean, you know, I eat a lot of carbs because I fucking love bread.
It's
I
so
love
easy and delicious.
potatoes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just everything goes with bread, and I could, if I had to eat one food for the rest of my life, it would just be bread and butter
Yeah.
or pizza.
That's 2 foods technically.
I mean,
Well, pizza, I suppose, could be it's a good question of like what qualifies as one food. Are we talking about like a dish or an ingredient?
okay, well, if it has to be one ingredient, then I'll go with potatoes because they are so versatile. You can do so much with them.
Can't have any other ingredients though.
That's true.
No salt, no butter. You just have to eat a plain
Yeah, that
potato.
would suck.
I would go God, I don't know what I'd pick.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, can we say that we're allowed butter and salt and pepper?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Potatoes then. Probably me
Okay,
too,
awesome.
because then I could have potato chips, mashed potato,
Fries,
roast potato.
roast
Yeah,
potatoes.
you're right.
Hasselback potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So many
Yep.
potatoes. Mm.
And welcome to Talking Potato with Potato and Potato.
How are you potatoing today, potato?
Very, very potato-y today. Well, best of luck on your keto adventures. Keep us posted because I do think that's something a lot of people do, and you know what? Not enough people talk about it, and the world deserves to know.
Yeah, damn right. What have you been doing this week? What's new? Tell me all.
Oh shit! Not a lot is new. Because I am the lamest person in the world. Work. I have gotten a lot of video gaming in. I've beaten like 2
Nice.
games, and just really enjoying that life
Cool.
for me. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. Could be worse.
I love to hear it, man.
Thank you.
You game the shit out of them games, man.
I sure do. Though, you know, sometimes when they're scary, I have a really hard time.
Yeah, I don't like scary games.
No, they're scary.
Yeah, I used to play like Doom, Resident Evil,
Ugh.
things like that, and I'd just be like, "Ah!" as soon as anything came around the corner and chuck the remote, and
Yes, exactly. And the graphics have only gotten better, so it even feels more realistic. Like before, Doom, like on the computer, was a little bit cheesy, so I could
yeah,
deal with it.
still scared me.
Yeah. But then like Tomb Raider, when we had a PlayStation when I was a kid, terrified me, but I loved it so much.
I mainly used to just walk around the mansion.
Oh yeah, and like do her
Tomb
obstacle
Raider.
course and
Yeah, and fuck
like
with
be
the
like her
butler.
boobs. How do her boobs stay like that? That's not a thing.
They're not real.
Lara Croft taught me unrealistic body image.
Yeah, thanks, Angelina Jolie, you bitch.
Yep. I had one thing that made me want to like hurl myself off a bridge. It happened yesterday.
Oh.
So I've been going to strength training, as you know, and I went yesterday, which is not the normal day I go, but I had to do a makeup session from when I was like dying from illness from food poisoning.
Right.
And a gal was there who I'd never seen before because usually you're kind of with the same people because you go the same day and same time every week. And she was nice. I had never met her before. She was funny. I enjoyed her. She was a little bit older. But she turns to me and she goes, you know, I have to let you know, you really look like Joan Cusack. And I'm like, haven't had that one before. Thank you. And inside I'm just like, well, I'm going to go drive off a bridge now.
I need to Google her because I can't think of what she looks.
I would have I told my friend who does the training with me afterwards, and she's like, John Cusack? And I go, no, I would have been flattered if she'd said John Cusack. I find him attractive. And Joan Cusack is a hilarious lady, mad respect to her, but I'm just like, that is not
No, you
the
don't
person
look like her.
I've been trying to emulate. So that was a sad thing that happened to me. And I was just like, I've gotten so many celebrities over the years, and I find it really makes a difference, like my hair, how I'm wearing my hair. More so than the fact that I actually look like these people. Like I used to get new girl Jess when I had bangs all the time.
Really?
All the time, like, when I was in law school and had long hair and this full-on bang all the time, and it's just like, I actually don't look like her, but thank you for the
No, you
compliment.
don't.
No.
I mean, you don't look like Joan, but I will be calling you Joan from now on, so sorry
Oh,
about that.
rattlesnake Kate is out the window
It's out
already.
the window already.
Fuck, alright, Joan it is, at least it's better than Kathy, Spaffy Kathy. So, yeah, that's my upper and downer for the week. Lots of video games, but got called Joan Cusack. No
Really.
offense, Joan, if you're listening. I think you're
Very
wonderful, but
lovely. But Kate doesn't wanna look like you, right?
no, and I don't think she wants to look like me, and I wouldn't blame her. Okay, well, we got that out of the
Oh,
way.
right, yeah. I found this post, and it's, "Give American TV shows a very British name."
Mhm.
Um, I just thought it was funny, so I wanna share it with you.
Tell me.
So, it starts with mates instead of
Okay,
friends.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if you can guess them. Bit odd, ain't it?
Bit odd, ain't it? Oh god, I know it's something like so weird or something.
Stranger Things.
Oh. Yeah, of course, okay. Bit odd, ain't it?
Superman would be top bloke.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, how about, see if you can guess this one. It's always pissing it down in Sunderland.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Hmm. I like that show.
Um, Curb Your Enthusiasm would be give it a rest.
Oh, yeah, it would.
A&E instead of ER.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably ER, right?
Yeah. Gaff.
Oh, something with okay, gaff at GAFF.
Yeah.
So I know in some like UK countries that's cops,
Yeah, a gaffer. Yeah.
but is that not what this is referring to?
No, so that
So gaff is
means
in like mistake or funny issue like
no.
nope. All right, I don't know.
House. Coming round my gaff.
Oh, sure. Okay, I have heard that before. So gaff here is like a faux pas or like I had a gaff where I,
Yeah.
my pants ripped or something in public.
Oh, we've all had that.
Yeah, who hasn't?
And then someone put so for The Walking Dead, just Rotherham, which is
Oh,
just
burn! I've never been there, but I bet that's so accurate. Uh,
oh god.
okay, so then I'm thinking about some really popular British shows like Coronation Street would be Coronation Street, is that like posh people or trashy people?
Sort of neither. It's just northern.
Okay, so then it would be northern. Because I want to say like Hollywood Boulevard, but I don't know if that's like a equal exchange. Could it be
It'd just be like a small town.
Hennepin Avenue for my Minnesota people?
Yeah, there you go. About like American dad, British father.
uh, um, oh, is that one of them? For yeah, yeah,
The Incredible
British.
Hulk would be an absolute unit.
That sounds like something Stone would say.
Yeah. 2.5 men, two geezers and a kid.
I do love the word geezer for men.
Geezer.
Yeah, that's a great one. What? I know there's. Why can't I think of any British shows right now? Why? I mean, I know there are some, but it's like
I
The
can't
Office is
either.
The Office, and like Ghosts is Ghosts.
About Friday Night Dinner. Have you seen that?
Oh, okay. Yes, I have. It would be This Is Why We Don't Eat at Other People's Houses. And you have Goggle Box, which would just be people you don't know watching TV and talking about it, and you're gonna love it.
um, what about Desperate Housewives?
Well, the surprise still be more American, like Thirsty Birds.
Slappers.
Slappers. Oh, I don't know if I've heard like
Have you not?
that term for anything. No.
Slappers. It's just like a slag. Not a slut.
Oh,
What a
okay.
slapper.
Oh, I guess I didn't ever really like perceive them as. I suppose they would be. Yeah, they are kind of slutty, aren't they?
Hi.
Hi.
And we're back. I've stolen that from another podcast.
Which one?
The fuck, I can't remember what it's called. The Scrubs one.
Oh, with the two guys from Scrubs. I haven't listened to it. Donald Faison and Zach Braff.
Exactly, those two. Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Scrubs, and they're basically just rewatching every episode and talking about it.
And
then
I also didn't mind Scrubs that much. I thought it was an easy to watch show.
It's one of the it's the most medically accurate show, even over like ER and the other one, Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy is not accurate.
Yeah, as in like all the medical
They're
terms.
not having all that sex in the hospital.
Apparently not. No.
I thought that was reality TV.
No, it's not, dear. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Well, before we were so rudely interrupted by my deficiencies in equipment, you were going to tell me a story of a woman of hoary.
Yes. So this week I've got a little tale for you, but she's not a woman of glory. She's the opposite. She's a knob.
She's a knob. Okay, great.
She's a bellend.
I think we need to balance sometimes with a really inspiring woman with shitty women, because I am going to start feeling really horrible about myself.
That's it. We're not all great. Not everyone's as great as us. So
no, we're not all great. No. So, yes, up for this.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you a wee little story. It's very what's the word for that thing when it's like relevant now?
Current?
Yeah, current. I don't know. Topical. That's the one I'm looking for. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very topical, because it's all come to a head this week.
Great.
So I'm going to tell you about Ruby Franke. Might be Ruby Franke.
Okay.
It's got an E on the end. I don't know how you pronounce it.
We don't know.
But I'm going to call her Frank. Ruby Franke. Okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, Ruby shares 6 kids. Too many, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Sherry, Chad, Abby, Julie, Russell, and Eve with her now estranged husband, Kevin.
Sherry, Chad, Julie, Russell, Eve, Kevin?
And Abby.
Abby.
Kevin's the husband.
I don't know where Kevin came. Oh, okay. There you go. Got it.
Listen.
Sorry.
She formerly offered parenting insights on her YouTube channel, 8 Passengers. You ever heard of that?
No, I hate this already. No. Is she British?
No, she's American. She lives in Utah.
I'm super surprised I haven't heard about her. Okay.
I am too. and you can go into a nice little rabbit hole when we finish this story and get nice and angry. Okay?
I will.
So she gained a huge following with her YouTube channel. She had over 2 million subscribers. And she was, you know, a mumfluencer, as they call it.
Was she Mormon?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Spoiling. Sorry. The Utah gave it away.
Really?
Yeah. That's the state. When I hear Utah, I think Mormons. I'm not going to lie.
Brilliant. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Generalizations are sometimes true. So yeah, really popular YouTube channel. She gave parenting advice, but a few of the videos did spark like controversy over the years. It was started in 2015, but her parenting style was quite strict. Obviously, I guess due to the Mormonism, if that's how you do it.
Maybe.
Yeah. So some criticised her strict parenting style when it came to light in one of her videos that her son had been sleeping on a beanbag for 7 months as punishment for pranking his brother. Now, she claimed that this was his choice and that he did have a choice to sleep on a pull-out bed. They basically like took away his bedroom for 7 months as punishment. So he could either sleep on this beanbag, a chair, I think it was, or like a pull-out sofa bed. Apparently he chose the beanbag because it was the most comfy. I'm not sure, but there we go.
Do we know how old the kid that was being punished is? That is important to me.
I did read that, but
It's okay if you don't know. I'm just curious.
Let me just have a quick look.
While you're looking, I'll opine on why it's important. Depending on the age of this child, that sort of punishment and that's giving that choice might not be appropriate. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and guess that I will not find it appropriate.
No, probably not.
It's a 2-year-old pranking his brother. Not even mad. I'm impressed. It's okay, gal. I didn't mean to throw you for a curveball.
Yeah, I don't know. He was.
Don't worry about it. Irrelevant. It's stupid I even said it. I'm so sorry.
He was young. That's all I'll give you. I did read it somewhere. Okay, didn't put it in my report. Sorry. She was also criticised for another video, which raised alarm bells because she basically documented that her 6-year-old daughter, put the age in on this one, her 6-year-old daughter basically had forgotten to take her lunch to school, and the school rang her to let her know. And she made a video about it, basically saying that her daughter was in charge of making and taking her own lunch to school. So this was a learning opportunity for her. And she allegedly told the school not to give her any food so that her daughter would be hungry to teach her a lesson. So this obviously caused some viewers some concern.
Mm-hmm.
And they called CPS and police, who did visit the family home, but apparently they didn't find anything of concern because nothing happened.
The police. Oh, yes. Sure.
And she continued making her YouTube videos.
I hope the school gave the kids some lunch. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, I think they, I would hope they would have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But yeah. Anyway, she continued making her parenting videos. She's making a lot of money off this shit. She's, giving people advice. Behind closed doors, her marriage to good old Kevin started to fall apart. And in 2021, they turned to a therapist called Jodie Hildebrandt, who suggested they live separately to save their relationship. Now,
relevant to what I said to you earlier, I just want to pivot. Well, I'll leave that vague, but yeah. Go on.
So this Jodie Hildebrandt also gave like parenting advice, I think, on her own channel, and was like a therapist for, I read somewhere that it was like for sex addiction and stuff as well. I don't really know. She seems a bit of a wild bitch. Anyway, no.
We're not talking about her, though.
I mean, she does play in this, but we don't want to give her too much airtime. Anyway, the two women later began working together, offering parenting seminars, and launching another YouTube channel and publishing content on their shared Instagram page called Mums of Truth.
That sounds like some weird Trump supporting nonsense, to be honest.
Sounds like a cult, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which is relevant to this. Keep that in mind.
Oh. Dee-dee-dee-dee.
So together they doled out advice and prompted honest lifestyles, including their brand as parenting role models to conceal what was happening behind the scenes.
Gross.
Wah, wah, wah. So, it was only when Frank's 12-year-old son escaped from Hildebrandt's home in southern Utah. I believe this was, I want to say November last year. So November 2023.
Ruby's son was at this other woman's house.
Yeah, so she's moved in with this woman with two of her kids, not the others.
Because this was the advice of, you guys need to live separately, so why don't one of you come live with me?
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, that's crossing some boundaries that I think like the board who monitors like therapy licensure in Utah probably would have some problems with.
Yeah. It's not cool, really, is it? No.
No, it's bizarre and definitely crossing boundaries. So this 12-year-old boy had to escape her home.
Had to escape her home, right? Went to a neighbour's house and asked them to call 911. And this is when the true scale of the duo's depravity was brought to light.
Okay.
So he managed to escape and asked the neighbour to call police while begging for food and water. The boy appeared to be severely malnourished and had deep lacerations from being tied up with rope from his malnourishment, according to court documents. Hildebrandt had also allegedly used cayenne pepper and honey directly on his wounds.
Oh my God.
I know. So police attended the house and arrested Frank and Hildebrandt, and also found Frank's daughter in a similar state of malnourishment. So they're arrested.
Jesus.
Court case begins. Investigation begins.
Mm-hmm.
So this all went to trial, I think, in December last year. Both the women ended up pleading guilty and making plea deals. And Ruby Franke has basically admitted to a load of shit that she did to her kids. Hold on to your hat.
Okay.
So she admitted in her statement that her actions involved physical torture of her son. In the plea deal, Frank further admitted to forcing the boy into long hours of physical tasks, working outside in the summer without shoes or adequate water. He received repeated and serious sunburns that blistered after he was forced to stand in the direct sunlight for several days. The boy was denied sufficient food, and when given food, he was given very plain meals, while others in the house ate regular and more flavourful meals, according to the plea agreement. Frank also admitted to kicking her son while wearing boots, holding his head under water, and cutting off his oxygen by placing her hands over his mouth and nose.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Ropes were used to tie together handcuffs that secured his hands and feet as he lay on his stomach, lifting his arms and legs off the ground and injuring his wrists and ankles. She also admitted that her son was kept isolated from other people and denied all forms of entertainment, including books, notebooks, and electronics. Similar abuse was inflicted on Frank's 9-year-old daughter, and she admitted, writing in her statement, that the girl was forced to work outside, run on dirt roads barefoot for extended periods of time, and go without food and water. She was also repeatedly told that she was evil and possessed, and the punishments were necessary for her to be obedient and repent. These things were being done to her in order to help her. And the girl was convinced that what her mother said was true.
Of course. Of course she was.
What, you just believe what your parents tell you at that age, don't you?
Absolutely. Especially when you don't have access to other people who are combating that narrative. My guess is they weren't going to school. And I don't know who else was in the home, but no one was in there going being like, that's not true. Don't listen to your mom.
Exactly.
Jesus. We're like, and she had 6 kids, so the other 4 were with her husband, and he's just like, "I'm not gonna worry about them."
I think so, yeah. I mean, the eldest one had basically like cut all ties from her
Yeah.
mum and the family a few years ago.
As soon as that kid could, I'm sure it was like, "Bye, change my name."
Yeah, that's it. I'm not sure on the. I guess that they must have been with the husband. I haven't been able to see what's going on
That
there.
is so upsetting. Like, he is also to blame here, like, and I'm sure he probably will have some things to say, but I'm just like, "What, you just weren't worried about your kids? Your 2 kids over
Mm.
there?" Oh, I'm so frustrated. So I don't think I've heard about this, maybe I have, but there was a similar case a couple years ago in California where, like, this couple basically had, like, their kids all tied to a bed all the time and made them, like, sit in feces and filth, and one of the girls escaped and ran to a neighbor. Like, it's so fucked up
I
that people
know.
do this to their
Why? Why are you having kids? Just to fucking abuse them?
my question about, like, why these 2 kids, like, why this treatment? Because it seems like maybe there was some kind of questionable parenting practices before she moved
Mm,
in with this woman, but what changed?
exactly. So she. I'll come to that. Hold that thought.
Continue.
So, um, so she pleaded guilty to 4 of the 6 charges of aggravated child abuse, a second-degree felony originally filed against her in exchange for the other 2 being dismissed. So, when she made her plea, she said, "With my deepest regret and my sorrow for my family and my children, guilty."
Oh, fuck you, lady.
A week later, her business partner and former Utah therapist, Hildebrandt, also pleaded guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse for physically and emotionally abusing Frank's children. According to her plea agreement, Hildebrandt admitted to knowingly inflicting and allowing another adult to inflict serious physical injuries upon 2 young children living at her home. She admitted that she physically forced Frank's 9-year-old daughter to jump into a cactus multiple times,
What?
to run barefoot on dirt roads for extended periods of time, and kept her isolated from others. The former therapist also admitted to helping Frank torture her youngest son. They both admitted, or they both confessed to telling the 2 children that they were evil, possessed, and needed to be punished. And the boy was told that everything being done to him was an act of love, according to the plea agreements.
Mhm. Sure it was.
Sure.
That's called grooming,
Yeah.
just FYI. And other things, and manipulation and
Yeah.
all of that, so
That's called being a cunt. Okay.
yeah, big time.
So, 3 months after Frank's arrest, her husband filed for divorce at the 4th District Court of Utah. He has constantly denied any knowledge of the alleged child abuse, as he was estranged from his family for some time until the arrests.
Mhm.
So,
So maybe the other kids actually just were older and out of the home.
yeah, possibly.
Hmm. Okay.
Mm.
I don't believe you, sir. I bet she was doing some of that shit when you were together.
Well, that's it. They had this YouTube channel since
Yeah.
2015. They had all the kids then.
Yeah. She didn't just
Um,
start being physically abusive and
no.
horrible to her children. It seems like it probably escalated, but she didn't just start doing that. So, and like whether he passively let it
He
happen,
either turned a blind
yeah,
eye or, yeah,
participated. Maybe that's why they started having issues because he disagreed with it, but didn't fucking do anything about it. Gross.
sure is. But on some good news, 6 months after being arrested and charged with felony. Why can't I say that word?
I
Felony.
don't know. Yeah, there you go.
Charged with felony child abuse, former YouTuber Ruby Franke has been sentenced up to 60 years in prison, although
Good.
she might not get 60 years. So,
No, I'm sure she'll get paroled.
yeah, it's something to do with like the Utah law. So she was given 4 consecutive 1 to 15-year sentences, meaning that she could spend between 4 and 60 years in prison.
Mhm. Yep.
Quite a difference there.
Yeah, so it's always a range. I mean, not always. Like states have different rules, but like so certain sentences or crimes can be like sentenced a range because there's often mitigating circumstances for
Mm.
certain things, right? So it gives judges some discretion there. And then there's certain crimes that there's not any, where it's just like your life without parole, and that's usually murder, something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically, how we do it where I'm at is kind of like you're going to have a maximum sentence, but then you also will get paroled and then on probation there's like you serve a third. I can't remember the
Right.
formula, but then you're on probation or parole for a period. And the only time it's ever life without parole is usually like
Mm.
murder one. So,
Crazy. Well, apparently child abuse isn't
yeah.
that serious, so
Well, I mean, if she actually served the full
yeah,
60,
then that's great.
like, that would be interesting, but I'm guessing it's probably gonna be more like 4, probably not more than 10.
That sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
I mean, at
does,
least you'll be too
and
old probably to have kids by then. So
no shit. I suspect if she had any children, they would probably as soon as they were born, like, the state would
yeah,
probably remove the child and terminate parental
I fucking
rights.
hope so. Mm.
I would hope. Yeah. Maybe not in Utah, I guess I don't know. Um, but the reality is, like, that's 4 potentially more of her life where it's like her
Hmm.
kids are fucked up for a
Yep.
lifetime. Yeah. And that's true for a lot of victims of crimes where like the sentence is actually woefully pathetic, particularly in sexual
Hmm.
assault and rape
Yeah.
and those types of crimes. But it's just like those poor children. Are they with their dad, or was the state like, maybe you guys need like a
I think the youngest kids were
trust
taken
break?
into social care, whatever you call it there.
Yeah, but usually, I mean, unless they find a particular reason, and it could be different in Utah again, unless they find a particular reason why he's a safety concern and can't have the kids. Most states would be like, "Well, you're the dad, so here you
Let me
go."
see, there was an article actually.
He was probably just off living his best life, not having to be a parent, being estranged, like finally not worrying about his kids. Like I I'm confident in saying he's also a POS.
So Ruby's 4 minor children remain in the care of the state.
Oh, well, good. That was the right move, but I hope that they aren't like, I mean, that's also not great for kids. Kids been
No.
getting put in foster care and stuff. Those are all adverse childhood experiences. Oh my God, I just Googled her. Her
Hmm.
face is
Yep.
punchable.
But Kevin Frank has filed for guardianship over their 16-year-old daughter, Abby. So,
Mm.
well, so while reading this,
Concentration camp is what, like,
I was
one
literally
headline I'm
just about to
seeing.
say that. Stop ruining it.
Oh, sorry, go on.
So, while reading the sentencing recommendation, the state prosecutor, Eric Clark, compared the environment Frank's children faced to a concentration camp like setting and said that Frank committed horrible acts of child abuse while addressing Hildebrandt's charges. Clark called her a significant threat to the community. Both women addressed the court before their hearings, with Hildebrandt saying that she would submit to what the state feels is an appropriate amount of time served. Frank admitted that she and Hildebrandt had inflicted the injuries on her children. And she said that she had been led to believe that this world is an evil place and that Hildebrandt had never been her business responsibility, um, but that she had paid the other woman to be her mentor. Frank also thanked the public safety officials who rescued her children, calling them angels.
Okay. So she was, like, trying to position herself for, like, "Oh, I'm a little crazy.
Yep. So she.
I didn't know what I was
Mhm.
doing."
So she said, "My charges are just. They offer safety to my family and accountability to the public. For the past 4 years, I've chosen to follow counsel and guidance that has led me into a dark delusion. My distorted version of reality went largely unchecked as I would isolate from anyone who challenged me. To my babies, you are part of me. I believe dark was light and right was wrong. I would do anything in this world for you, and I took from you all that was soft, safe, and good," she said.
Okay, so what's your excuse before that then? Because like the thing I'm looking at is talking about prior to that when she was still doing her own like before working with this therapist is like it was pretty horrible too. And like I guess did you see and maybe this is in there so stop me, but she basically tried to blame her kids a little bit too.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you continue.
Yeah. Yeah, so since this has all come out, her older kids have spoken out and are basically relieved that she's been arrested and said this should have happened years ago. Her eldest daughter, the one that's like estranged, tried to get her
Yep.
arrested and done for child abuse years ago, but nothing was ever taken seriously. And her eldest son, um,
Mhm.
Chad, he's the one whose bedroom got taken away from him. He's like posted videos on or TikTok, or his girlfriend did, of him like celebrating the
Crazy.
fact that she'd been arrested and sentenced. Yeah. Oh, also her sisters have come out. So Ruby Franke's sisters have come out and released a statement saying that they're also relieved and pleased that she's been arrested and charged for what she's done. But then they've also released other statements that have said she was really delusional and that she was really deeply brainwashed. So they couldn't recognize her. So it's like they're trying to claim
Is
that this other
yeah.
woman
Mhm.
brainwashed her into
Cuz then that would
doing all this
they would
stuff.
have to be like she's been like this and we've known about it for a really long time. Whereas they could say, yeah, it was really bad, but she was brainwashed and delusional and we couldn't get through to her. So therefore, we're not to blame either. And
Mm.
fine, but like if truly these like I get that the children have tried to do things and it was ignored because I think that's what the state and law enforcement they don't listen to kids, right? Um but people could have done something. Adults could have
Yeah.
done something. And maybe it's a failing
Hmm.
of child protection and law enforcement and those institutions in Utah too, but like her sisters and Kevin could have done something.
Yeah. And I think neighbours as well tried to intervene at points as well with law enforcement and child protection. But, I think from what I've read about it, when she was doing her YouTube, although she came off as strict, I imagine she put on a very happy family
Oh yeah,
face
she's
to the
cute and
public.
white and blonde
Exactly. And
and
you should see the
yeah,
pictures on her like Instagram and stuff. It's all very happy families and the kids are all
of course.
smiling and look fine and healthy and they've got a lovely house.
Yep.
Um
Gross. That's so upsetting. Yeah, I just like I look at her and that is why she was able to I think escape scrutiny for so long because money, whiteness, white
mhm.
privilege, pretty privilege,
Yeah,
notoriety, fame, like though people with those benefits escape scrutiny for so long. It's it's fucked up.
it is proper fucked up. And those poor fucking children.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I was seeing one thing was about how she tried to like blame one of the kids who apparently just like she was trying to say he sexually abused a bunch of other
Oh,
kids and blah
yes,
blah
yeah.
blah
I saw that as well, yeah.
and then provided no other evidence
Mm.
to back that up but like that's why I had to do it because he's dangerous. Well, get him help then. Like
Yeah,
well,
it's
this is
fucked up, isn't
a
it?
real fucked up downer of a story.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, I think it's interesting. You're right when you told me earlier that this is kind of like in my area because I did work in child protection and I do work in like child welfare and best interest of children now.
Mhm.
Um, these types of cases, thankfully, don't come to me or shouldn't come to me. However, I've had many a case where I'm like, uh, and CPS didn't do anything about this at all. Like,
Mm.
why? Why not? uh, problem. And it's like no systems are perfect, but like the most vulnerable in our society, just like those, they're the ones who get harmed the most by
Yeah.
the less than perfect system. So,
Mm. We had a terrible story. I think it was last year. Came out about a poor little toddler that was basically tortured and beaten to death by his scumbag parents.
yeah.
And
I remember that actually. I did,
yeah,
yeah.
child services have been round a few times and
Mhm.
should have noticed,
Mhm.
the fucking bruises. And I think like it was so badly beaten that it was like black and blue when he
Yep.
died, and had like broken arms and legs,
Mhm.
like truly fucking horrific. And you think that the people that are employed to check on the welfare of these children would at least notice
Yeah.
signs, or
Yep.
you know
Yep. I've been thinking a lot about, at least here in the States, there's this kind of like parental rights and like right to raise your children how you want and stuff.
Mm,
It's like such a deeply ingrained kind of philosophy or belief. Like it even was a case went to the Supreme Court about like homeschooling children or not giving your children life-saving medical care because of like religious beliefs, and kind of
yeah,
revolves around like, well, you have the right to raise your children how you want. What about like kids' rights? It
yeah,
just seems like they're kind of just second to parental rights, and it seems really unfair because they're people too. They're not objects, they're not property. But the way the
mm,
Supreme Court, if I remember correctly, kind of in the early days, they almost treated children as like a property right.
really.
Yeah.
It's almost like a pet.
Yeah. Yep. Or a shoe
Mm.
or, a slave, I
Right.
guess. But it's just like
Yeah.
it. And so I have cases where I'm like working with parents and they'll say something like, it's my God given right. And I'll be like, what about your kids' rights? Do your
Mm.
kids have rights in your perspective? And
And
like, I care about your
is that something they even consider in some cases? Like, mm,
I think they think they're the same thing. People confuse them, like because I'm a parent, therefore my kid needs me and I'm the best person for them. And I agree. Like, kids do best when they have
mm,
relationships that are meaningful with both of their parents, when their parents are healthy and able to like do so, right? But because I had kids when I was working, kind of in juvenile court, who were removed from from their parents, and for good horrific reasons,
yeah.
but also wanted to be with their parents, understandably, you know. Um, and I think I'm not saying that that's like perfect either, and I think about their rights in that regard as well. But like, there's I think a biological and very natural instinct to want to be with your parents, which is why
Yeah.
you have kids who learn they're
Mm,
adopted and stuff. There's like a desire to know where you came from. But I think parents get confused about what they think they're entitled and what should happen because I did something to make this person
mm.
that somehow trumps their own rights. And I mean, that's true. We do that in the society. Like right now, Alabama is saying that in like embryos, so like fertilized eggs are a person. So that egg has more rights than
That's a
the
whole
woman
other
who
argument,
like
but
they took the
man,
egg
that
from.
makes me angry. Oh, that really grinds my
Oh boy, that
gears.
really grinds our gears, doesn't it, Gemma? I'm my palms are bleeding from clenching my fist so hard right now.
Oh, wow.
Um, well, I am gonna go down a rabbit hole with this just because I haven't heard about it, and I mean, there's lots of reasons
Mm,
probably why I haven't come across it. Probably avoided the news during that time frame, but anytime I see stuff like this, I do find it really upsetting because, like, Sure, she said one thing when she pled guilty and gave her statement and all of that and is trying to look like she has
Yeah.
remorse because I'm sorry, if you don't show remorse, you're gonna get a higher sentence. So, like, her attorneys maybe coached her well, but nothing that she said m felt genuine to me in any way because, like, if she were delusional, brainwashed, kind of having some sort of diminished mental capacity, like, she
Yeah. Oh,
wouldn't
thank
have
God that
just,
snapped me out of it.
"Oh, I'm better
Brilliant.
now that I've been arrested." Yeah, once I left that house, I'm so clear, so much clarity now. I do think it's good that the therapist
Mm.
also got arrested. I mean, they lived together and she participated, but I also am just like,
Oh, I forgot to
y
say,
you have a
yeah,
responsibility to your
and
clients.
the therapist's
So,
niece
sorry,
has
go
come
on.
out since all this happened and said, "This behavior is Jodie." So this is where kind of the cult thing comes in, 'cause obviously Ruby's saying that she was
Mhm.
kind of brainwashed, her sisters were saying that she was brainwashed, and her, Jodie's niece has come out and said that that's how she used to be treated when she was a kid and used to go and stay with her aunt. It was very abusive,
Mm,
and everything she did to these other ladies' kids happened to her as well. So this is not a new thing that Jodie's been doing.
Jesus.
It's she's been doing it for years, and it's clearly just a massive bellend.
Yeah, and I'm guessing she doesn't have any children of her own
Not that I've
then? Is that
seen. Yeah.
my understanding? So I just, like, I don't need to have kids. I can just abuse
Yeah.
other
That's
people's kids.
fine.
That's
Don't
fine.
worry.
What the fuck?
But yeah,
God.
so they were literally sentenced on Monday this week, on the 20th of February.
Oh, okay. Oh, yep, yeah, that's this article from the New York Times, which I'll read in a minute.
Mm.
Was from 4 days ago.
So yeah, it's all very fresh.
Oh god. Well, people who are in a position of, like, a power or authority, which is why we have, like, ethical standards for therapists, like, sh I suspect, she was able to persuade a lot, including, like, "You 2 need to physically separate to save your marriage." I'm guessing the next thing that followed was, "You can come live with me. He can stay at the home, bring your kids." What? And then, like, obviously their relationship didn't get
Nope,
better because
clearly not.
they continued to be estranged. So, like, I do wonder now what her underlying motivations were. Like, "Ooh, I need to get some more kids in my house so I can be
Yeah.
abusive to them." Like,
Like, what the fuck?
that's where I really, like, that's my real passion. Fuck.
It's weird. I mean, it's difficult with therapy because, I mean, over here, you can essentially do like an online therapy course or counseling course and then therapize people, you know? So essentially, once you've done that course, you can pretty much say what you fucking want, really. I mean, there are obviously ethical standards and I imagine
Mm,
some checks that are conducted, but in the privacy of a therapy room, there's
mhm.
nothing stopping the therapist from
Yeah.
doing what the fuck they want, really.
Interesting. I mean, I think some of that's true here because, like, you go to therapy, it's private, like, it's not necessary. I mean, it's confidential, but, like, I can get therapy records in my line of work, and they're helpful to me. Um, but, like, s and people wouldn't know this, like, if they've never been to therapy before or just kind of don't have that, like, level of expertise, they could have a therapist who's, like, really
Mm,
kind of doing some fucked up shit and
yeah.
some fucked up, like, practices that unless someone else told them that they can't do that, it was unethical, crossing some boundaries and stuff, like, people would just be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
that's
people
my
don't tend to
therapy."
go into
So
much detail about what their therapist has told them, do they?
mm-mm,
And
mm-mm.
also there's the
No.
whole, you know, speaking to someone who has authority over you. Um,
Well, you go to for their right, their
mm,
input and insight and stuff too, so, like, there's a natural
yeah,
kind of, like,
so you just,
deference.
you know, take their word for it. It's that what's the experiment where people were told to electrocute someone?
Yeah, the God, what was
I wanna
I
say
fuck, I was just thinking about this. Harvard, I think it's the
yeah,
Harvard electric shock therapy. Milgram, Stanley Milgram, back in yep,
that's it.
that was it was a while ago, maybe not that long ago, but yeah, it was kind of like not questioning authority sort of thing.
Mm.
Yep.
And the majority of people won't,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
which can be very dangerous. So
Even
question
that
everything,
study
people.
itself, they question like the ethics of it. And same with there was like the prison experiment where I think that was in California. Was it, what's it called? Stanford prison experiment, I think, where they basically had these student volunteers who were prisoners or guards. And you can probably
Oh,
imagine the
yes,
chaos that
yeah.
ensued.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty
Yep.
fucked up, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, what we do when we're in positions of authority and positions of
Subordinate. Yeah. But I mean, that's why
subordinate,
you
yeah.
hear people like the Nazis, we're just following orders. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. Well, there you
Well, on
have
that
it.
note,
Yeah.
it's a horrible story of Ruby Frank and Jody Hildebrandt or whatever.
I feel like we need something a bit more lighthearted to end the
Yeah.
episode on now.
A little bit of a palate cleanser. What do you got?
Okay, I've got one off my chest.
Great.
I don't think this is going to make us any happier.
Okay. Well, that's okay too. Sometimes some episodes are just downers, folks. Okay.
I'm just seeing if I've
Got
got
something
any.
else?
Okay, I've got like a yoga. Am I the arsehole? Should we do that instead?
Perfect.
Okay, so I want to preface this.
I like preface better.
I want to preface this by saying that I know. Oh God, I can't read now. I've lost
The will
the
to
ability
read.
to read. Yeah. I want to preface this by saying that I know this is at least partly something I need to deal with myself. Not everyone's actions are intentionally negative. And if I'm taking them negatively, then that's at least partially on me. Very self-aware. Love it. Okay. So first, some backstory. I go to a hot yoga studio 3 times a week. This studio almost solely does warm or hot classes. I don't know why people go to these classes. I could not fucking deal with that. Imagine doing yoga in a sauna. No thanks.
I don't I don't particularly care for yoga anyways, and I don't think it's safe to be sweating all over my mat and then slipping.
No, that's
I can
it. I'm a sweater as it
yeah.
is in a normal
Yeah.
class. So the amount of liquid that I would perspire would be unreal
Liquid
in
that
that
I
situation.
perspire. There's an episode title. But people do like saunas, so I could see why people might think it's
Yeah.
cleansing in some way.
Yeah, I don't mind a sauna, but I don't want to be exercising in it.
Mm-mm.
That's mental.
I agree.
Anyway,
No argument for me.
cool. I'm glad you agree. Okay, the studio itself is inside a larger building and has no windows in the room, which makes it perfect for evening restorative classes because the room can get really dark, which is a perfect practice for restorative or nidra. And anecdotally, I've heard at least 2 other guys in the room say how much they enjoy the darkness as well. So I like to get to class as much as 30 minutes before the actual start time so that I have time to lie down on my mat, meditate and relax. I deal with really bad anxiety and have ADHD, so I need this time to get my mind into the space before I can focus on the practice. Essentially, I'm the first one in the class, every class. In the last month or so, there has been an older woman who, when she comes into the classroom, just immediately turns on the lights as bright as they will go. She doesn't warn anybody and she doesn't ask if it's okay, but she just does it. I find this super distracting because when I'm meditating, my eyes are closed and having the lights turn on full blast so quickly takes me out of my meditative space and throws me. Yeah, that'd be a pain in the ass. Now, as I said, she's older, at least 65, maybe more. So I totally understand that it could be an issue with her sight and that she needs the lights up bright, but it still feels crappy, and to consistently have my concentration so quickly destroyed without so much as a, hey, I'd like to turn the lights up a bit warning. On top of this, for the last 3 weeks, she's asked for the heat to be turned off, which our teacher has been reluctant. Oh, sorry, our teacher has reluctantly agreed to. God. But if you don't want to be in a hot studio, maybe you should look for a class that isn't advertised as being hot.
Yeah.
The rest of the class came here specifically for the heat, and now one of those benefits is being taken away by one person. I haven't said anything to anyone, but I just want to know if these concerns are even valid. Finally, Finally, we live in a big city, population 1.7 million, if you're wondering. So it's not like there are tons of other options. Sorry, it's not like there aren't tons of other options for her to go to that wouldn't cater to her needs better. Anyway, am I the asshole?
You're the yoga fan expert guru. I'll let you start.
No, I don't think she's the arsehole. I think it's rude to turn on the lights without asking.
Mm-hmm.
Often a yoga teacher will set the room and the mood to be a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
usually because people want to come to yoga to calm down, reset, refresh. So it's usually, lower lighting, nice warm environment, even not in a hot yoga session.
Yep.
And it just seems very rude of this woman to do that, and also to request that the heat's turned down just seems ridiculous because it's a hot yoga class.
Yeah.
So,
That
no.
one threw me for a loop a little bit.
I
And the fact
would,
that they did it.
yeah, like if I think she needs to talk to,
The manager.
yeah, the manager of the studio or the teacher and just say, like, she's kind of really interrupting my practice and fucking my flow. Can you either have a word or just tell her to stop turning the lights on and turning the heat down because it's stupid. Stop it. No.
I have a few things that I'm wondering about. So she gets there a half hour early so she can kind of have the time, right? And so that tells me the room obviously isn't in use. And I'm wondering if the particular place has policies about yep, you can go in there and do what you need to ahead of time. And in that case, then she also has to compromise a little bit because it's not like she's reserving the room exclusively for herself, right? But I do think it's very entitled and disrespectful and kind of which is normal behavior for someone of that age in that generation from the stereotypes we hear about that age and that generation sometimes. It would be very respectful to go in and be like, can I just turn on the lights a little bit? Can't see, or not go in there until closer to the start time when you can fucking see. But of course, this woman doesn't it's about her and everything is built around her and her needs. That's the world has been created for this woman, this older woman. But going back to our gal, I suppose a compromise could be turning the lights up slightly so that she could still meditate, but maybe this woman or other people who come in could see, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe they want to come in and do it too, but it's too dark. And that's where I'm like, this room 30 minutes before the session isn't just hers. But I also agree that the other woman is way out of order and she's not the asshole. Now, the heat thing is why are you changing the substance and nature of this class, which is why all of us came here for one person? That doesn't make
No,
sense.
not at all.
So yeah, talk to the manager.
Yeah, for sure. One of the top comments is from this person who says, I say this as a teacher who's only taught in huge cities and with a demanding and difficult clientele. If a client touched the lights or anything without asking, I'd shut it down, kindly and privately, but very fast. Same thing with the heat. The teacher needs to control the room, or the studio manager or owner does. You can't turn a heated class advertised as such into a non-heated class for one person, nor should clients be touching anything with the lighting or AV system, etc. That said, I'm surprised the studio is even staffed and operational and ready for someone to come into the room 30 minutes early. Usually 15 minutes or so is the norm. So, yeah.
My guess is she probably asked permission and they've let her, right? But I agree. That's where I'm kind of like, well, I'm thinking about when I've gone to the gym and gone into the strength training room beforehand and picked my spot and set
Yeah.
up and stuff. I kind of just leave it as I find it and make my space and just but it's because it's still not my space to turn it into the environment I want,
That's
you
it.
know? But she's going in and leaving the lights off and not touching the heat, so she's not really disrupting anything.
Yeah. I mean, other people in these classes are the worst bit about it. It's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I practice at home more now, because specifically in my area, there's a lot of older mum types, you know? Who,
Entitled world
yeah,
builder
but
for
also
them.
just go there for a fucking chat and a gossip. And I'm like, guys, not really the place. Do you know what I mean? I don't say that. I sit there and I'm very British and I say nothing, just tutting under my breath. But yeah, they go there for a chat, and there's one particular woman who's, I mean, she seems really lovely, but my God, she just wants to talk and gossip and, oh my God, I come here because I do this and I do that and da-da-da, and oh, my little boy does this and my little girl does that. And I'm like, well, just shut up. No one cares. Like, come here to chill out and work out. I don't need to hear your fucking life story, right, mate? Fuck off.
Of all the classes where people talk, yoga is the one where I'm like, that is not the place. Like
No,
strength
it's not the
training,
place to do it.
spin,
Yeah,
cardio, loud music,
yeah.
shit like that.
Go for it.
Yoga is restorative, meditative, mindful, quiet, soothing, peaceful, whatever. It's not Jesus.
Yeah, she's a handful.
I wish you were less British and you could be like, ma'am,
Can you
go to
shut
the
the fuck up?
shut the fuck up. Go to the juice bar. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on
Well,
that note, not the arsehole.
not the asshole. You're not the
The
asshole.
asshole.
Everyone else is, baby. That was a good way to end it. I think let's leave that there.
Great. Yes.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye then. Well, as usual, if you want to send in your stories or give us your opinions on old cunty Frankface over there, email us at talkshittous@gmail.com or DM us on socials, which is TSYBpod. And also just give us a follow and a like and a review. That's helpful.
Download.
Give us a little download.
Yeah. Tell your friends and family about us.
Yeah. We'd appreciate it.
Send this episode to your friend that keeps talking in yoga.
If
Yeah.
you could, that'd be great.
Yeah. Do a service. Do a public service.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, on that note,
yeah, it's good
I'll
to see
say
you.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye? Is that what I said?
It sounded like it, but also I realized it could be me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Ah, yes. Avita Zane. Have a good rest of the week.
And you, my dear. I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.